All right, what's up there, people? Hunter Spoke Riders here, and I'm doing this video right now to talk about, to give my review on the Moose Adventure saddle I got from my DR650 2014. The seat, if I gotta give it the one, if I gotta do the scale from 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, 1 through 10, I gotta give it an 8. And there's 2 reasons why I cannot give it a full 10. But don't get me wrong, the seat is very comfortable. It's well worth the money. But the reason why I can't give it a full 10 rating is because, now granted, I still got the stock tank. Maybe when I get the bigger tank, the fitment will be a little bit better, but the fitment is not 100%. There is a slight little gap where the tank section goes. But like I said, maybe when I get the bigger tank, it'll snug up a little bit better. So I'm not gonna fault it on that. But the major, I'm not gonna really call it a major flaw, but the one flaw I see with this seat, and it's probably not gonna be a factor in every part of the world, but certainly in areas where it gets real hot. Yeah, I'm here in Arizona, and there's some days where it's like 120 plus outside. And the problem with this seat is, if I ride this bike to work, I'll leave basically my bike out in the parking lot. It sits out in the sun pretty much for 8 to 12 hours a day. There's nowhere at work I can really park it in the shade, so it just is what it is. But on the rare occasions I do ride this to work, the seat, it like absorbs the heat and holds the heat. Because when I come out after sitting out for like 8 to 10 hours or whatever, this seat is hot as fire. I mean, this seat is hot. Now the stock seat, it was the same way. It was hot, but once you sat on it, it was hot when you first sat on it, and then it wasn't hot anymore. It was all good. But this seat here, I don't know, it's like it holds the heat on the inside of the seat. So when you sit on the seat, it's hot, but then as you ride it, it feels like once you get going, when any normal seat would cool start, cooling down because it's not directly in the sun, it just feels like more heat is coming from it. It's almost like it absorbs the heat, holds the heat on the inside. So I mean, it's, by the time you get on it and start riding it, your butt's on fire, because I mean, it's hot as I don't know what. It's to the point where I'm ready to stand up a little bit. Sometimes I do stand up a little bit on the freeway just to relieve it. It's to the point where it's uncomfortable. And it's kind of crazy to me how it's like that, because the seat itself is comfortable. I mean, it's a very comfortable seat. As far as being better than stock, I say 100% better than stock. But if you leave it in the sun, in the blazing direct sun, when it's like 120, 100 plus out there, man, this seat just, your butt's on fire when you're trying to, I'll be on the freeway standing up. I know people looking at me like I'm crazy, because I'll be on the freeway, ripping down the freeway. And I mean, the seat keeps getting hotter, keeps getting hotter, and keeps getting hotter. And someone might think, well, is it this exhaust making the seat hot? And I'm gonna have to say no, because I can have this bike in the garage, pull this bike out the garage, and ride this bike for 100 miles, and the seat is just fine. Maybe it's just me. Anybody else with a Moose Adventure saddle or any other aftermarket seat, especially climates where it gets real hot, is it the same deal? That's the only flaw to this seat. That's why I gotta give it an 8 out of 10. Maybe when I get my bigger tank, it can get a 9. But yeah, as long as if I can't leave it out in the sun, which and my Z1000 doesn't do that. It's got a stock seat. I can leave it out in the sun. I left my Z1000 out in the sun all day at work. I jump on it. Yeah, the seat's a little warm, but once I sit on it and it's not in the sun anymore, it's all good. It cools off and you're good to go. There you have it. I'm not gonna make this too long. There's my review. 2014 DR650, AKA City Slicker, Moose Adventure saddle from Pro Cycle. Maybe it's just my seat, I don't know. Leave a comment below if you've experienced the same thing as far as motorcycle seats. It's a weird, stock seat didn't do it, but it is what it is. I'm definitely not gonna put the stock seat back on. I'll just not try to leave in the sun so often. Maybe when it's about to start cooling down, it'll be all good. But yeah, I just noticed that This is basically my first summer with this seat. So there you have it, people. 100 spoke riders. This is my review, signing out.